X3 Expo. Who are we talking to?
You are talking to the one and only Ginger Lynn, or Ginger Lynn Allen. If I'm naked, I'm Ginger Lynn. I shouldn't say that. In Rob Zombie's Devil's Rejects, I'm naked, and I am Ginger Lynn Allen. So just Ginger Lynn Allen, or Ginger Lynn, whatever you want to call me.
Metallica, your book.
Metallica video. I'm in the Turn the Page video, one of the most powerful and fun projects that I've ever worked on. It was a blessing. I loved doing the Metallica video. Jonas Åkerlund was the most amazing director ever. And now I'm 70 stories into my book. I just, as of this morning, finished the second Charlie Sheen chapter, moving on to prison next. And the book will be out hopefully within the next year.
That's hysterical.
It's a tell-all. No, it's a tell-all. The 2 pages I wrote, the last 2 pages today, the names on them were Charlie Sheen, Billy Idol, Tony Curtis, Chili Davis, Christian Slater, Balthazar Getty, and Lou Diamond Phillips. So is it a tell-all? Fuck yeah, James Caan. I'm telling it all.
Say writing books is therapeutic, is it?
You know what? When I first started working on my book, it was years and years ago, and I thought I would do it chronologically, which was a huge mistake. And I found that going from my childhood to my adulthood and my career in the adult industry, my childhood was just very problematic. My mother was a nut job. So I wrote the whole childhood and the history and the growing up, and it really, really got to me. It's kind of like, I equate it to slitting your wrists. It's warm and it feels good, but you're going to die at the end. It's a lot of work, and there's a lot of emotion, and you relive what you're writing, and you go back to that time and that place. So I stopped after I wrote the growing up childhood portion and picked it up again about 2 years ago, and I'm this close to being done. The title is I Don't Look Good on Paper.
Are you still having people write chapters on you?
I'm still having friends, yes. I have a chapter in the book called Enough About Me. What do you think of me? And so I have friends, people in the industry, celebrities, people that I've known over the years writing stories. And if I can, certain people, like let's say Billy Idol, I've got my memories of our over 10 years fucking off and on together, and he has a totally different version, but the same. It's just your perspective. So I love that chapter. It's so many of my friends and family and people that know me, because when you're writing about yourself, I don't want to go, I'm a really nice person. I'm like, I can't describe myself. I can write my stories, share my stories, but it's when other people write their stories, it gives you, the viewer, the reader, I think, a little more insight as to who I really am.
We live in a world now where people tend to build people up and then trash them. But you've had nobody actually really, that I can tell, trash you or bash you. Secret to that.
I've been really lucky. I'm not one of those girls that lives in drama. I'm on time. I show up. I'm responsible. I'm reliable. And I'm nice. I'm nice to people. And I mean it genuinely. And I think we need to all get along, and a lot more love and a lot more niceness in the world today. And I think that the reason no one's trashed me is I really haven't given anyone a reason to. I don't backstab people. I don't take advantage of people. I love people. I love my fans. I love my friends. And I think my secret has just being who I really am, and not trying to be who I think you want me to be.
What are you working on now?
My next film is called Pig Killer, and it's about the most notorious serial killer in Canada. Back in I think it was in the 60s. And I play, I can't tell you who's playing the leading man. I want to tell you so bad, but I can't tell you yet. But I play Willie's mother in Pig Killer. And it's a good title too, right? And then I've got 2 films coming out. Lady Killer TV with Felissa Rose, Lady Killer TV 2 and 3. And then this year I'll be filming Francine and Harold. And Francine is my character from the Lady Killer TV series. So I'm just a busy girl, lots of conventions.
Question out of left field. What can you tell us about working with Greg Dark?
About what?
Working with Greg Dark.
You know what? I worked with Greg Dark on a couple of films. I worked New Wave Hookers, wonderful experience, absolutely loved it. And then I worked for him on Between the Cheeks. And this was the 80s, you've got to remember. And cocaine was, I was doing coke, everybody was doing coke. And I remember being on the set, and I never did drugs before I went to work. And that day I did. And I got there, and I was too hyper to work. And Greg took me into his car, and we sat outside for about 2 hours until I came down, and he just talked to me, and he was just nice to me and just a friend. And I can never thank him enough for that. You know, I fucked up, and he didn't get mad, he didn't get angry. He took me under his wings and took care of me. I love Greg Dark.
The first, in the New Wave Hookers, were you supposed to do a date video, or were you supposed to do something else?
In the first New Wave Hookers, I was actually I agreed to do a double penetration. It was amazing. It was amazing just to feel 2 cocks completely filling me. I loved it. And I had Tom Byron and Steve somebody maybe? Steve somebody and Tom Byron. It was wonderful. And then years later in the 2000s, I made my comeback for VCA. And I was doing New Wave Hookers 6. So I wasn't worried about competing with anybody else in the other films since my first. I was more concerned about competing with myself 20 years earlier than that. And could I do as good of a job? Because that double penetration is just one of the most memorable scenes I've ever done. So when I did the New Wave Hookers Part 6, I actually did my first double vaginal. Will never do one again. Hated it. Fucking hated it. Uncomfortable, hurt, no fun at all. Not a turn on for me whatsoever. But what I didn't plan on doing, and I accidentally did with Shawn Michaels, he played Dr. Stinky Pinky, I think. And I had my first ejaculating orgasm, my first real squirting cum shot on camera was in New Wave Hooker 6.
One last subject. Feel free not to say anything.
Okay.
Ron Jeremy.
I hope he rots in hell. Ron Jeremy, I hope you rot in hell. We'll just put it right out there.
OnlyFans?
OnlyFans. Follow me on onlyfans.com/blameItonginger. I do daily videos, something new every single day, and I guarantee that if you liked me before, you'll love me now.
Social media?
Social media, you can find me at, where you really want to go to is patreon.com/wholetthegirlsout. It's a podcast that I do with Christy Camden. We are out weekly on Patreon. You can follow me on Twitter at BlameItOnGinger, and Instagram is, again, at BlameItOnGinger. I also have a Sex Panther account, so sexpanther.com/ginger-lynn. Follow me everywhere, baby.